Hello, everyone. It is Monday, meaning it is live stream time here at ESCUnited. It's an interesting day. It's very exciting because I have brought along some guests. Our usual face, I'm sorry that he's here again. No, I'm joking. It is Gabe, of course. And you can also see a little black square. It is Matt being returning to the channel. Now, Matt is still recovering from some health issues. He wanted to be here on voice. Camera is not going to happen as of this time, but he will be joining us because we have a lot to talk about. Besides all the Eurovision news and all the Eurovision songs, there is also something big happening that we are going to talk about first. Hello, everyone who is tuned in. It's going to be an interesting conversation. I urge you all to be very respectful. I hope there are some moderators keeping an eye on the chat as well, because I think that's going to be very crucial today. Gabe, how are you doing today?
Hello, Roy. I am doing well. I've got, I think, a little bit of a knot in my stomach today, which I think a lot of people will be familiar with, because I think a lot of us feel it when we're talking about what we're about to talk about. But I am also just really, really happy that Matt is here. And Matt, we missed you very much. So welcome back.
Yeah, and just to I was about to say, just to check that it's not just a black box just sitting there on the side of the screen. Are you actually there, Matt? Say something.
Yes, something. I'm right here. Hi, y'all. It's been a minute. I know. It's I said in Twitter. Oh, I still call it Twitter. I don't give a darn. I'm almost like nervous now. I'm like, oh, is that how it was when I first started doing this? You know, it's like the reset. I love it. Hi, everyone. By the way, I missed y'all.
Can I turn his audio up a little bit? Probably.
I can speak louder. Or maybe I can do.
Wait. I think this will work. Okay.
Hello.
Yes, that should work.
Yeah. Wonderful.
Hello, everybody that is in the chat. It is time to start talking about the first topic to talk about, and it is the big elephant in the room, Israel. Now, the Israeli broadcaster Khan has revealed the song that, after multiple rejections based on the lyrics being deemed too political, got through the checks now. The song was originally called October Rain and now is called Hurricane. The lyrics of the song are still up for a lot of interpretation and debate, and there's also some questionable symbolism in the music video. There have been numerous allegations of the country breaking multiple rules and laws, but the EBU has decided to still let Israel participate even after their invasion of Gaza. Because they were let in by the EBU, and we are journalists, we have to talk about this subject. The following discussion will be prefaced by the disclaimer that the opinions of the people on stream right now do not necessarily stand for the entire team. That being said, we do not think it is right to give Israel a platform in this year's competition. Now, Gabe, do you want to give your 2 cents on this topic?
This is obviously extremely emotive. I think I'm going to start by saying the obvious thing. I think most Eurovision fans agree on this, and I think we agree on this, that Israel should not be participating in the 2024 Eurovision Song Contest. It's morally inappropriate, it's ethically inappropriate, and I think given the way that Israel uses the contest to further their political goals, it is a real disappointment that the EBU has allowed the contest to be abused in this way. Obviously, I already made a video on this, and I've been quite aggrieved about this matter for some time. But I think any suggestion that this song is not political is quite frankly laughable. I mean, if you look at lyrics like "Promise you'll hold me again, I'm still broken from this hurricane," like at least treat us with some respect. Don't claim to have produced a song that's not political when, if you look at the comments on posts on Instagram, on YouTube, the comment section is jammed full of Israelis making comments saying they understand exactly what it means, that they understand exactly what the references are, that they understand those references in the video that you're referring to. And it's important that we try and understand these too, because it's important to understand what this song is trying to do. It's important to understand what Israel's goal in the contest is, this year especially, but in past years as well. And that is to distract, to launder its reputation, and to take our eyes away from the internationally documented crimes, the widely documented crimes from many different sources that are being committed, even right now as we speak, in Gaza. Now, as I said this to you guys before the stream, that I was going to say this, and I just want to say, I said the same thing at the start of my video on the subject. We're not conflict journalists, and I would really encourage everyone to, first and foremost, put your trust in journalists on the ground who are reporting on this every single day, on reliable sources. Double check your sources. Journalists who are risking their lives so that we see the truth. For us, as people who are fans of Eurovision, who cover the Eurovision Song Contest in our own capacities and with ESCUnited, we have a responsibility to do our part to ensure, and I am going to continue to talk about this for this reason, to ensure that the political goals that Israel wants to achieve in Eurovision are not achieved. And that means that every time we have no choice but to talk about Israel in this season, this is the context I'm going to talk about it in. We cannot forget that this is a broadcaster trying to have a party while having its staff sign artillery shells and missiles that are then fired at civilians. And that is the context in which this song exists. And I'm deeply, deeply sad that the many opportunities to prevent us from reaching this point have been missed. I have a lot more to say, but I'm going to stop there for now, and one of you two can continue.
Yeah, it's. I think the entire issue has been mishandled very much by the EBU, and I had hoped for better from them to handle the situation in a good way. And the thing is, there is so many concerns right now, and you cannot have this country compete in Eurovision in a safe way whatsoever. Like we've already seen today that the signs in Malmö have been there've been blood splattered on it, and there's been Free Palestine put on the sign as well. You cannot tell me that everybody traveling to Malmö will be safe there when Israel is competing. And I am genuinely not sure if I'm going to be there if this is the case. And really, there needs to be something happening. It's just mind-baffling how this entire situation has unfolded, and I'm just kind of speechless. Like, it's the competition I love so much, and here I am being a Eurovision content creator and a Eurovision journalist in a way, trying to be all happy, smiley, clappy in front of a camera while people are getting killed who are innocent, and it feels wrong to do something like that. And we cannot also discredit all the other artists that will be there. EBU should step up, and hopefully something can still happen about this entire thing. I'm not very happy at the moment, at least. Matt, do you have anything to talk about this subject?
I think you all just summed it up perfectly, and it is, for me, maybe not the best timing to come back from my first live stream, and that's being the first topic that we have to go over, but that's just life. It basically, yeah, it is I call it unfortunate also that the EBU, unfortunate is always somewhat like that sounds condescending, but it's, it's not right because the EBU puts all of even like the fan media at this position. I see it online everywhere that we're all supposed to have a stance, an opinion. And if you don't, then you feel a certain way by default. And it puts everyone in a very awkward position whilst we're trying to report on this without getting too political. But it's also not just political, it's humanitarian. It's a very difficult situation to comment on without starting a firestorm, no matter what you say. And we said what we said, that we believe that this is inappropriate for Israel to take part this year, and I just stand by that as well. That I don't think it was the right decision, and it just sucks because now everyone's look at the whole environment that Eurovision finds itself in. Everyone is tiptoeing around. Everyone has to put the disclaimer in the videos. Everyone has to talk about this like with their gloves on, and it shouldn't be that way, and it really takes away from the experience overall. It's a really odd year, so it just sucks, and I wish they would have come to a different conclusion. I just would ask everyone, I understand that people, because if you don't have a certain stance, then you support this or that. Understand why websites are a little hesitant, because it really can have such a big backlash, and it's unfair. I don't think any media outlet or any of the fan websites should not be put in the situation, because then if you get too critical, we're worried about certain other impact on it. So that's all what I'm asking for. I was gone for all of it basically because I was sick, so I didn't even see all of that. Just looking at the last 24 hours, what has happened in the community, I was like, hot damn. So yeah, so that's basically all I'm saying. I agree with everything you guys were saying. You said it so well, and yeah, I'm on the same page.
I think one point I want to add to the discussion as well. There's a lot of I've seen some of it in chat. I've seen it online, and there's a lot of it does come down to we just said, we are not the conflict journalists. We are not the people on the ground you should be getting information about the conflict from. But I do just want to point out that, there's a lot of comments, and I've seen some of them now, that has been like saying, when we've said, we are not comfortable with Israel being in Eurovision for XYZ reason, and we're talking about Eurovision in a Eurovision context and how they are misusing the contest in the face of actions that the whole world agrees, because they're war crimes and they're well documented, are unacceptable in any civilized society. I've seen responses by people saying, but Hamas this. And the first thing I did on October the 7th, to be clear, was condemn that. I'm Jewish. Like, this is very close to home for me. The first thing I did. And, I think all right-minded people condemned the horrific atrocities that took place. No one is trying to take away from that. What we are saying is that the way in which Israel has responded to that, the sheer scale of it, is beyond horrific. And I think it's also worth pointing out, we're talking about the Eurovision Song Contest. Palestine does not compete in the Eurovision Song Contest. When we are looking at this from a Eurovision point of view, we're focused on the actions of Israel, very much so. And I think it's just, for something that's meant to be about joy and a celebration of peace, it feels just really quite sick. And especially when I went and I read the lyrics of the song and I listened to the song, I felt quite nauseous, because the dissonance between what, in my opinion, are the politics being espoused in the song and what the material reality that, again, is well documented and internationally recognized is massive. It's something that I found particularly awful, because, and this is the only, I'm not going to go too much into this because I'll get very emotional about it. you know, as a Jewish person, yeah, Israel has positioned itself as a state that supposes to protect Jewish people. And I sat there and listened to this for the first time, and we are going to have to change the settings in the chat, I think, because there's a lot going on in there, but we'll deal with that in a moment. I was sitting there and thinking, I was so angry, and I had the thought in my head constantly was, how dare you claim to do any of this in my name? And I felt sick and nauseous about this for the last 24 hours. I should probably stop talking now because I've been going on for ages, and I'll hand it over to one of you guys. There's just so many negative emotions I have about this. It's so manifestly inappropriate for them to be in this contest. And we are just... I just find it, the whole thing is heartbreaking, and it's sad, and I'm extremely depressed about all of it.
Yeah, I think that's what we're all feeling at this moment, and I see the chat, guys. There's a lot happening there. We knew that would probably be the case tonight. It's a difficult subject, and as you can see, a lot of people are very divided on this topic. And you know, it's really difficult to really put yourself out there and I don't know, put your stance out there into the world, I guess. We've been tagged in some horrific stuff as well online, urging us to put out a statement. We have to always find a balance between where we stand and what we can and cannot do, while also trying to stay professional in a way. Of course, we are fan media, but it's a difficult line to balance sometimes. And I've been struggling with it quite a lot as well, with that side of things. Do you want to comment anything, Matt?
No, I think you guys summed it up, and I think the more we go talk about, the more the chat is already hot. I can see. So it is. Yeah. Just know that it's just understand from like a fan media perspective. It's not always easy to comment. I think we just by addressing it here, it gotten further than a lot of other people have done, and just know that. We're not here to upset anyone. I understand where people come from, but it's just our personal feelings towards it, which is not necessarily uncommon, but we also don't want to keep harping on it. So I think at this point, unless you guys had anything else to add, I think we could move on to the next topic because, at least people know where we stand.
Yeah. If I could add one more thing, I will just now, obviously we're not going to address any of the abusive messages we receive in chat. But in case it wasn't obvious, if you do send anything abusive into this chat, it'll be the last message you ever send on this channel. So bear that in mind when you're communicating with us and with each other. We have tried to be kind and human in our comments. All we ask is you extend us the same courtesy.
Yes. I think it is time to move on from that topic, and the reason why we put it in the beginning is because the show is still continuing as is, and there was also a lot of other stuff happening alongside all of that. And the first thing that happened this week was Australia. I need to find the right video, and then we're gonna talk about Australia. Let's go. The duo Electric Fields has been chosen to represent their country, Australia, at this year's Eurovision Song Contest. Last Wednesday, they released their song One Mil Kali, in between brackets, One Blood. The song is mainly in English, but also features lyrics from the Yankun Chachara language. I'm sorry if I didn't pronounce that correctly. The song also features the didgeridoo and Electric Fields will compete with their song One Mil Kali in the second half of the semi-final. Gabe, did you listen to this song? What did you think of it? And what is
I did indeed, and it's been a bit of a grower for me. I wasn't convinced the first time. It had some things that I thought, oh, this is really my thing. I love the use of the didgeridoo, for example. I think it's a really good thing. One thing I've always loved about Eurovision is that we see off it. I love seeing a little bit of that country's culture, and it's a really exciting opportunity for Australia to put forward indigenous Australian culture, which obviously even in an Australian domestic context has been not just neglected but actively suppressed. Basically, as long as the country has existed, and it's only recently that it's really starting to give life to it, and to act that it's starting to be supported. There's a lot more to do, so I really, really love that. I love the use of the minority language, and I think it really adds something to Eurovision. It's in a tough semi, I'm sure we'll come to this, but I personally enjoy the song. It makes me feel good. It's it's very fresh. It doesn't quite have that X factor to get up to the top for me, but I think it's a really worthwhile addition to the contest this year, and I'm really happy they're here.
Yeah, I think when we talk about Electric Fields, we of course have to talk about when they participated in the national final. They had 2000 and whatever in that year, and it was really out there. But then I listened to their back catalog a little bit more, and it was really the one song that was out there, and the rest was fun, it was enjoyable, but it wasn't really to the extent that 2000 and whatever was. And I kind of feel a similar way with this song. I think it is good. I think it is solid, but I think it is maybe a tad too much like an album song. So I'm not really sure if this song will stand out incredibly much in a running order of, let's say, 26 songs if it qualifies. But I think it has a lot of potential for some really cool staging. I love the addition of the language as well, and of course the didgeridoo. And I think you can really make something happen on the stage there. We already saw them in their national final. I think they both have a lot of charisma, and that will only really help them. Like you said, they're in a tough semi-final, so I don't know how that will affect their chances of qualifying. It is televote only. Is this the type of song that people will remember after 16 songs and be like, yeah, picking up the phone for it and vote? I'm not sure. That's my biggest concern with this one, but it's really cool to see them. It's really cool that they're going to be in the competition, and it's a cool entry. Like, I love seeing indigenous stuff. I love seeing more cultural things being included in entries, and I think that is his biggest strength, and people will definitely enjoy that.
Can I share my opinion?
Of course, go.
So I think Australia might come last in the semis, or it may win the whole thing.
Okay.
And that's because I have not listened to any of the songs yet, including Australia. So I have no idea. So I don't know. So one thing I wanted to put out the disclaimer: all the song discussion that the two of you have right now will be I have no clue what you're talking about, because I was out of the loop. But we're going to talk about that later. I'm thinking about doing a live reaction to some of the songs in the near future. But what I will say, to stay on topic here, is that a thing now in Australia when they do internal selection, just send like the national final losers? Last year and then this year again. I'm not complaining per se, because those were both great acts. So I'm excited that they get their chance and their shot at Eurovision. But I just noticed that when I didn't know they were actually participating until you just said it, Roy. So I was like, what? I didn't want to.
I have a theory. I have a theory about this.
Go on.
My theory about why they keep doing this, I am questioning, given that obviously they scaled down from the national final, that there's been murmurs, because there was murmurs about, obviously because Australia renewed this year. I wonder whether money is starting to become an issue, and they are drawing from their existing pool a bit more. And if they can look into that existing pool and think, we've got something good here, then it saves, the time, the man hours, everything else, to do a full search. Obviously, the good thing for them is that they actually have a really strong set of artists to draw from in that case, because that national final that they ran for a few years was really good. And I mean, we saw with Voyager, winning the semi-final, and then making it into the top 10. So that is what I think is going on here. It would be really good, although obviously delegations keep their cards very close to their chests. I would really love to know more about some of the processes going on in Australia, because it's clear that there's been a lot of evolution in terms of what resources do we have available to us, what sponsors are backing us, what are the focuses of the state and national governments, things like that.
Yeah,
I am actually looking up. No, go ahead, Roy.
Go.
No, you go.
No, it's like I always want to like have a little sneak peek behind the scenes how every single delegation does it, and yeah, Australia seems to be on a bit of an odd path at the moment. Like, who will they send next year? Can we just like go down the list and just pick the next entry already? Because then Jaguar Jones it might be next up, which would be really cool. But yeah, Matt, what did you want to add?
I'm just curious because I'm looking up the semifinal allocation for the first time as we speak right now. Because you mentioned earlier, Roy, that Australia is in a. What?
Look, I have a wonderful thing for that. Look at this. Is this a correct one?
Oh my God!
No, it's the wrong one. It's this one.
Ta-da!
We're professionals, Matt.
As we speak right now. So you mentioned that this is a tough semi. So and I don't know the songs, I'm looking at the big hitters, the countries, and to me, on paper, without knowing the songs, it looks pretty competitive. Are you saying that there are some countries that usually are not known as the big hitters are delivering this year, without saying names?
There's definitely some countries that are very much delivering this year that you would not expect. So yeah, it's most people see this as the strong one. I'm starting to think that the second one is also pretty strong. But yeah, it's tough to really not say anything about who is strong and who is not.
I know. I feel like bad about it. Just from
it's
my
such an interesting draw.
Yeah. There is what I will say. I'm not going to tell you which half of the semi-final, because people in chat will know what I'm talking about. So I can say this without really. One half of this semi-final, not telling you which, is one of the most brutal bloodbaths in the history of the contest, in my opinion. And is absolutely loaded to the brim. One half is not quite as much. Which one is it? You'll have to find out.
Is Romania not in?
Romania is not in.
Romania is not competing.
What?
Romania's out, but we're still at 37 because Luxembourg's in. Romania did have, just to refresh chat's memory on this, and to let you know, Matt, basically when the allocation draw was done, and when they revealed the participating countries, there was a note on it that basically said Romania has been given extra time. We're in negotiations. We're trying to make it work. And we'll give them some time. But then there was a proposal that went to the board of TVR, and if the memory serves, that proposal, which would have funded their participation, was then rejected. As a result, at that point, they withdrew. It feels a bit like a North Macedonia situation where they could be back, but it's like this year they have chosen to place that money elsewhere. North Macedonia, same thing. They've invested into some domestic programming, so they're like they're probably going to be back next year. I know we said that last year, but their stated intention is to come back. So we're looking at maybe in a good situation, like a 39-40 country contest next year is within pretty easy reach. They just need to make some small adjustments to make it possible.
Cool.
Yeah, so
no, not cool, but that's like that sucks.
Guys, if there's any questions about Australia, please put at ESCUnited first so we can see that they are directed at us, so we can pick them out and maybe answer your questions. Always put at ESCUnited so we know what we're talking about.
And the last thing I want to say, just because people mentioning it in the chat, yes, I was completely out of the loop basically since October, I think. So
Yeah.
ever since I fell sick, so October, November, December, January, February, it's like 6 months. So yeah, it's like I'm
wow.
woke up from a coma, so like Eurovision coma. So this is my.
It's like you had a winter
I'm trying
sleep.
to think. I
Yeah, it's
knew
like when
about
we said
the
Matt was ill, we meant it. Bro was not checking social. Bro was just not checking social media. He had like himself to focus on.
I
Like,
know I got a little puppy, and that had got all my attention. So and I needed
Yeah.
that. Anyway, sorry. You go ahead. I'm done.
I'm not sure if we see any questions about Australia. Do you see any? I don't think so.
I can see just one was
there
by
is
Antoine at the end there.
Antoine Madelon says, I feel like Australia could stand out because there's not another song that sounds like it in semi-final 1. But do you think that can be enough for it to qualify? I don't know. It feels like it's kind of a bit of a basic pop song to me. Just adding some indigenous lyrics and a didgeridoo, of course. I'm not sure if it stands out that much in general, and it's not necessarily the type of song to stand out, but it is definitely different than a lot of other songs. So maybe that can be one of the strongest suits to go through from that semifinal. It is a tough one. So I don't know. We will definitely also have a discussion at the end who we think are at this moment qualifying and non-qualifying. At least me and Gabe are. Or Matt, maybe based on vibes or song titles. I don't know. What do you think, Gabe?
Oh, I'm looking at the song titles right now in the first semi. So first of all, who's Baby Lasagna?
Oh, Matt, you have missed so much.
And what is Windows 95 Man? Those are the two that stood out to me. And Bambi Thug, I like that one as well. So the names are quite. I do recognize Raven from Slovenia.
Yes, she is
Marcus
there.
and Martinez is a non-compare from Sweden. I see that because they're I recognize that name as well. And Natalia Barbu, she was Moldova 2007, right?
Yes.
Hera Björk.
Yes.
No, she's there too. Yeah.
Oh no, Matt, the Hera thing, it's a whole thing. Iceland, it was a whole thing.
No.
It was a real mess.
Yeah, it was a mess.
It was a real mess. That one is hella controversial.
Not Hera. She's not controversial.
I think we should maybe for a future stream, we should like go through these entries with you one by one, Matt, and you can listen.
Well, I was planning doing this weekend. My idea is, and I'm sorry, I'm hijacking this whole thing, but this weekend I'm going to do the first half and then second half of semi 1 live reaction live stream, and then do the same thing with the second semi. And then whoever is available, you, Gabe, you can give me a little bit the insight of because I don't have time to read through all of that.
100%.
Don't worry.
Yeah,
100%.
We'll be your guidance through this year's Eurovision.
But what I can say to clarify a few things on without giving anything away. There are some really cool stories in this lineup. So I think we were talking about semi 1, weren't we? So could we stick semi 1 on the screen for a second?
Of course. Let me get.
And I'm going to tell you a couple of like the stories without telling you the like actual songs. What the songs are like. So firstly, so you asked about Baby Lasagna. Baby Lasagna was the reserve.
Sorry.
Yes.
Yeah, no, Baby Lasagna was the reserve for Dora. He wasn't even on the original participants list. He was drafted in at the last minute after another contestant withdrew, had half the preparation time of everyone else, and then won the show with 4 times as many points as anyone else.
Oh, really?
Yes. So obviously that
he's like not a controversial winner in Croatia. Let's put it that way.
No. His lack of inclusion was controversial, but now he's whee. And I don't know. Do you want us to talk about odds at all?
No, because then I feel like if let's say Ukraine is high up, then I'll have this expectation.
Okay, fine. Yeah, no worries. Other cool stories in here. Moldova was chaos
Finland,
as always. Finland might be interesting. Roy, you go.
Finland, like they had a jury points, and their system is that there's a split between 25% jury votes, 75% televote. And then Finland, the one that won in the end, was last with the juries, and then smashed the televote by such a margin that they still won.
Oh, so it's gonna be interesting if that's gonna be kind of reflected in like the Eurovision vote as well, huh?
Mm-hmm. And then, what else? Oh, the Moldovan auditions were chaos as always.
Yeah, but that's part of it. And then
Would
they
you
clean
like
it up
me
and
to
have the
read?
most amazing thing.
Yeah. Would you like me, Matt? Would you like me to read you the lyrics of a song that the fandom has nicknamed the "Cum Song"?
What?
The cum song, as in cum.
Yes.
Oh my god!
I don't
This is
even know
not.
about this.
This is not the song that won the selection, but there was a song in the selection in the audition round where the lyrics were, "Let me just have a taste. None of you must go to waste. I want you deep inside of me. Even when you leave, a part of you stays."
Wow.
Welcome back, Matt.
Why do I feel the need to bathe right now? It's just
Let's all take a shower together.
Oh
Okay.
gosh! Wow. ESCUnited only fans.
Okay. Anyways, okay. Sorry, I digress. You probably have to move on to the next topic.
We
but,
should move on to the next
I
country.
cannot wait to look at the second semi in detail.
Don't worry, we will get to that. I
So,
think even
next
this song-
category. We have derailed things horribly.
Yeah,
Go
we
ahead.
got to talk about Greece. On Thursday, Marina Sati finally released her song for the upcoming Eurovision Song Contest. Her song is called Zari and blends Greek and English together to a catchy beat. The song has been written by 7 people, including Marina Sati herself. One could compare the song to a reggaeton-like genres with some experimental beats and a lot of Greek flair sprinkled on top. It's a song to shake booty to, and we will be doing that in the first half of the second semi-final, where Marina will perform Zari. Gabe, did you listen to the song? What do you think of it?
Yes, I did. Not my style. So but I'm coming into it knowing that it's not my style. I'm gonna take that into account in my comments because I think I'm going to like this a lot less than somebody who would be into this music, and this kind of music is quite popular. Now, I think it's catchy and it's growing on me slightly. But I really can't shake the fact that in the intro, that sound, that vocal sound she's made, it really sounds like one of those Minecraft villager sounds. So it just reminds me every time I hear it. I hear the intro, the ta ta ta. Sorry, not too many spoilers, Matt. And I just think Minecraft villager. That's a Minecraft villager. I'm expecting it to go and ask me for emeralds in a minute. Anyway, I don't think I get it. Essentially, in short, I think it's not the kind of. It's nice to see something which is really authentically Greek. This is done really well on the charts there. It's #1 on Spotify in Greece. And it's, but I just, I'm not getting it yet. A bit like with Europapa, maybe I will get it later. And that one is growing on me, you'll be pleased to know. But
Good job.
But for me at the moment, this one, not for me. How about you?
Surprisingly, this is totally not my type of music. I usually kind of despise reggaeton type things. I'm not sure if this is actually fully called reggaeton or if there's any other name for it. I'm not very versed in that universe. But I actually quite like this song. It is a bit more experimental, and it's just the repetitive nature of those type of songs doesn't really shine through as much with this one as it does with others. And there's some quite cool breakdowns in between where you have some nice Greek elements in there as well. You have those flutes going in there. You already saw in the music video where they were dancing along with that handkerchief dance that they do in Greece. It's something that will really be fun to see on the stage. There is not a moment in this song where there can be nothing. This will be a feast to watch. I'm very curious what they will do with the staging. Greece have been known to maybe not be the best stagers there is. Not gonna say that too loud or else we'll get somebody calling us over saying that we were too negative about it. But yeah, I'm very curious to see how they'll stage this and how Marina will perform it live, because it is a type of song. It's maybe not difficult to sing vocal, although the beginning, it's she comes in with her vocals. But it's a type of song that needs to be delivered well live as well. And I'm not sure if that's the easiest thing, but I quite enjoy this song and I listened to it a couple of times today. So thumbs up from me, Greece. And that's something, because not my type of stuff usually.
Well, I think Greece could potentially come last in the semis, or it could actually win the whole contest. Because again, I have
Wow! Thank you.
But
Matt.
that's my prediction. So,
What do you think of their stagings?
What stagings of Greece?
Yeah.
In recent years, so not this year.
Oh,
but
in the recent years,
what did you think of last year's? That was a mess.
I have a problem. Who was last year's? Oh, that was
Victor
the dude.
Vinicos.
Yeah, I have some issues with memories, right? Little memory loss here. That staging was. They always like it's everything in the kitchen sink. With Greece lately. So I hope they're gonna scale it to a way where it's appropriate and not distracting. Like even Last Dance, the staging was very elaborate, but it was too much, even for me.
Yeah.
Just like instead of going 130%, bring it down like 50. So but they have good ideas. It's just the execution I think needs to be a little bit more on the nose. And
I'm not sure they're going to be turning things down this year. No spoilers for you, Matt, but I think when you hear this, you'll be like, we're not getting it turned down.
To be fair, I think they struck a nice balance when they did Amanda Tenfjord's staging with the chairs and stuff. I think that one was pretty cool, and they kind of nailed that one. So they can do it, but that was a ballad and not an up-tempo song.
The thing that always really stands out to me when I think of that song actually was you can hear it if you go back, especially if you watch the semi-final. Obviously, like when the ballads start and stuff, you hear people, there'll be someone in the crowd who'll scream and shout and be like, woo, whatever.
So
by the time we get to the first chorus of Die Together, when she sings the first line of the chorus, there's a silence of about a second and a half afterwards before the next line. The arena is dead silent.
Mm-hmm.
Like she holds, like at that moment, she's holding that room in the palm of her hand. And it was amazing. It was the only time in the whole contest where that happened. It was really, I found that really special. So I wanted to mention that while we're talking about Greece. Sorry, Matt, you were going to say, go ahead.
No, it was just, I was just curious because based on the second semifinal lineup, do you think Greece has a good chance of qualifying or not?
Well, if we put it up on the screen.
Yes, I'm on my way.
Oh yeah, so I can judge. Okay. While you guys are sharing your thoughts without against.
Wait. Before we do anything, Matt, I want you to try to pronounce the title of Estonia's song.
It's funny that because I was like, these names are all boring except for Estonia. So it's 5 Minust and Pulup with Nendest.
Good.
I hate you. Nakuti Kummidest. I Timi. No, that's English. Teame. Timi. You can Timi now. So let me start over. Nendest. Nakuti Kummidest. I Teame Kul Midagi.
You
turned so German there halfway through.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
Except on cool, where suddenly he was Swedish. He went like cool. He was like Nendes narkotikumidest A-T me cool middag.
It's just like I don't know. I'm just gonna call it the Teamy song now.
Most people call it Nendest. It's the easiest probably.
Yeah.
Oh.
Or the drug song. It often gets called.
Or the drug song. Yeah.
Yeah. Don't tell me anything about it though, because now I have a feeling. I'm just predicting. Don't confirm or deny.
Okay.
Because I've seen Estonia's Eesti Laul many times. They always have these entries, right? That often makes a final and then does really well with the televoters, but not the jury, so they never end up winning. I feel like this time they made it happen with a really, oh my, what is this kind of song? Okay, I see your eyebrows. So I have a feeling that's my prediction here, that they're actually win. So I think this song will be very polarizing. People either going to go ape shit over it or they're going to hate the crap out of it.
Or it's a power ballad. Who knows?
No comment.
Yeah. No comment.
Actually,
anyway, this is Greece, not Estonia's conversation.
Yeah, exactly.
As for who's going to qualify, in this semi-final, I think it's because this one, in my opinion, is a lot more
Greece. Will they qualify or not?
Yes, I would say so at the minute. It's very open, but I think I would put Greece in there. It's distinctive, It has its own niche. It has its own space to sort of grow into. I'm looking at the other songs in its half as well, and it stands out from all of them in a big way.
Yeah.
So I am pretty confident about that at the moment. That said, there are a lot of songs in this semi where it can really live or die on the back of the live performance. So let's see. But for me, I would say yes at the moment. What do you think, Roy? What's your verdict?
I think the semi-final is really, really open this year. And The thing, I saw it in the chat as well, some people mentioning it. I'm not sure if this will necessarily translate to a Eurovision stage. It's not a type of song that's really written for Eurovision, maybe. And it's something like I don't think we've really seen before. So will it translate? I don't know. If it will, it could do really, really well. If it doesn't, and the staging is a little messy or something like it, then I don't know. Maybe it could fall a little flat in between all the other songs. Of course, we don't know Armenia yet. But in the half they're in, it's a pretty good half to be in. There's a few songs that I could picture them being in between, and that could really work for them. So as of right now, if you hold me at gunpoint, I would say they're qualifying. But again, running order can change things, and definitely for this one, the staging and live performance can.
Perfect. What's next? Where are we going next?
Oh, I'm sorry. I was talking on mute because you can't
Oh,
even see my
Matt.
mouth moving.
Oh,
I'm
Matt.
sorry. Before you move on, because Roy, you said in your introduction video that Greece is an upbeat song. Am I correct?
Yes.
Is that a good opener? Could Greece be an opener?
No.
No.
I think it is too out there. It's not a good opener. I think there's other songs that would be way better. I think honestly, I'm pretty certain at this point that Austria, as soon as that song got released, will be the opener.
Oh yeah, I'm 100% certain Austria is going to open.
It's like the
without a shadow
perfect
of a doubt.
message. What will we be doing this semifinal? We will rave. Yeah.
Well,
Matt.
we will rave. That sounds. Wait. Everybody, shut up. Do I see Megara on the list?
Yes,
Yes.
it's the same
Is it
Megara.
Megara?
Yes,
it
it is
from Spain?
Megara.
No.
Do you want to know who? No, I can.
Wait,
look
no.
this
What's my
up.
favorite song last year? The band. I'm not sure it's the same song, of course. But
This is mine, Gabe. You're not hijacking it.
Ah,
what?
Okay,
What?
so Matt,
Yes.
here's the thing. So Megara was participating in the Samarini selection because they were a reject from Benidorm Fest last year, basically, and won the selection. But in Benidorm Fest in Spain, they actually had an artist win that tried for San Marino last year and got rejected.
Wait. My brain was not ready. Say one more time. So they were rejected from Benidorm Fest.
Well, they were participating in Benidorm Fest, but they didn't
Last
make
year.
the cut, obviously. Yeah.
yes.
Well,
But
they made
there's
the final.
Yeah, no, I know,
Well, yeah,
but
but
like
they didn't win the thing,
didn't
did
win.
Oh, they didn't win. Got it. Okay.
So there's the song for Spain participated in San Marino's national selection last year and didn't win there, but won Spain's selection this year. So they kind of swapped around, which is very funny.
Got it. No,
And
yeah, my brain
the other
gets
thing
that.
is, you want to know who came? Matt, are you familiar with Loredana Berti? As in Italian
It's,
legendary singer.
With blue hair
What's the name
and like
again?
a very Loredana Berti.
No.
How he said it. Okay, well, essentially, Loredana Berti is like one of the most sort of well-respected, well-known singers in Italy. She's been releasing music for decades. She participated in San Remo and came 9th. At the last minute, she was drafted into the final of UVPSM in San Marino, and everyone went, well, obviously they've rigged it for Loredana. And then after all of that, after they got her to come and sing her San Remo song in a shitty little theatre in San Marino, she then came second and had to stand there while they were handing the flowers to Megara.
Oh, really?
Oh, it was priceless. It was just wonderful, honestly.
Only in San Marino. That's why we love that national final, right? Hasn't really resulted in great results, but certainly plenty of stories.
Yes. Oh, it does its job. It really does do its job. Oh, it was just excellent.
Anyways, thank you for the little summary here of some of the things. There are plenty of other questions I have. I'm a little curious about Europapa, but I'm not going to talk about that right now. I don't want to distract. But go ahead, Roy.
Yeah, I don't know if there's any questions about Greece at this moment. And else, I think we should go to the next topic. It's mostly been chatters, to be honest, about Matt being completely out of the loop and it being very funny, which, yes, it's been very funny.
You know what? It's really fun for me, too. I mean, I missed it so much. But
another thing from San Marino, somebody points it out here. I'll put it on the screen for now. Fishy Cat, please talk about the last polar bear.
Oh
so,
no!
San Marino had like an entire week of heats where only the winner would qualify, and then there was a second chance round, which Megara had to go through, by the way. So the winner didn't even qualify directly from the heats. But then they also had a little competition where they had AI write 4 different songs, and one of those songs was being in the selection called The Last Polar Bear.
It was sung by Dana Gillespie, who apparently once collaborated with Bowie in like the 80s. You know what, Matt? We're going to have to sit you down and go through this. I think we should move on because otherwise we're never going to get through.
This will be a long stream on the
and like we only have like, and you know, we tried to aim for like sort of 2.5 hours tops. And I think at this rate we're going to go on all night. So let's. I think we should probably keep soldiering forward.
Then just for everyone to remind, I will do a live stream with like reactions, and then you guys can give me more context to each national final or selection at that point. All right, go ahead, Roy.
The next country that we're going to talk about is Sweden. The twins, Marcus and Martinez, have won the Swedish national final Melodifestivalen. Both the juries and the televote thought their song Unforgettable was the best performance of the selection. You could say it was unforgettable. The second place and the band Smash Into Pieces took third place. Marcus and Martinez will be performing their song in the grand final as Sweden is the host. And earlier today, they had to draw their position for the grand final. And it turned out they draw number 1. So Sweden will be opening the show of Eurovision 2024. Gabe, what do you think of this song? What did you think of the final of Melodifestivalen? And yeah, what do you think of it?
So immediately, somebody said in chat, Gabe, take it away. Yeah, I have a lot of opinions. I have very, very many opinions. So many, the fact after this stream, because we're running a bit behind this week, the video that I'm doing that's coming out this Friday is actually about Melfest. I was so grumpy. I sat down during the show and wrote 3,500 words about it. Anyway, wow. This is just, as was the case with every single returning artist, right? Except for Maria Sir, you're doing amazing, sweetie. Every other returning artist brought a song which was way worse than their previous efforts, and this was no exception. It's still a good song. I enjoy it. It's brilliantly staged. You really can't fault the production or the staging of this at all, in terms of the on-stage performance. But what you have is something that is utterly formulaic, shallow to the point of absurdity when it comes to the depth of the lyrics, and what you end up is essentially the same thing as Air last year, but much more disappointing in my opinion. And I just think like Melfest as a selection is not in a good bill of health at the moment. What you ended up with was a set of songs from a tiny, tiny clique of songwriters. Jimmy Joker Thornfeld had 5 songs in this final. Thomas Gison had another 2. If you look down the list, you'll see the other familiar names. Dino Medan Hodzic, although Dota gets a pass on that one because she's engaged to Dino Medan Hodzic. So if he's, I feel like we can kind of let her off the fact that he was a co-writer on a song. Jimmy Jansen, Joy and Linnea Deb, all of these same songwriters you get in Melfest every year. What we are now seeing is essentially cheap facsimiles, cheap imitations of what a extremely watered down, popified version of a genre of music should be like. Smash Into Pieces were a watered down popification of what rock is like. Annika Vickerhalder's song was a watered down pop imitation of what a gospel song is like. What you ended up with was a show that felt totally fake. This is the Luxembourg Song Contest with a massive budget.
True.
That's the level. In terms of artistic merit, there is no discernible difference. You have to do something different, and this is a country with one of the best music industries in the world. That's why the bar is so high. Melfest is really close to my heart, and I've been watching it since I was 12. we should demand way better from it. Because no, the bar is not on the same place that it is in other countries. If this show was Moldova's selection, we'd be like, oh, wow, Moldova, you did great. But it's not. And so we shouldn't. Demand better from countries that should know better. And Sweden, if you want Melodifestivalen to be considered on the level of quality that something like San Remo is at, then prove it. And also, as a side note, don't create a system that means the number one single in the country gets eliminated in the semi-finals. If that happens, it's not the song. It's not the song that's the problem. It's the format. Sort it out.
Okay. I will say, after all these weeks of being on stream with you and you saying how not very good Melfest was, and then me hearing all the eliminated songs and being like, yeah, they're not very good. I then listened to the ones that were in the final, and I was kind of pleasantly surprised, believe it or not. I think the overall quality of the songs were pretty good. I think the stagings were very elaborate and very, very nicely looking. My biggest issue with most of the songs is that with most of them, it felt like the artists weren't even really singing the song. Like, you could barely even hear them. There was so much backing vocal being used. Yes, it is a lot of very clean pop, but like, let's just completely forget about Melfest in this moment. Unforgettable is just a good pop song, and you just have to see it like that. Like, unfortunately, I would love the system to change, because Smash Into Pieces, I cannot even call that a rock band anymore. They're just a boy band. They just make pop music at this point. The thing is, like, they always come with a quality entry, so why should they change it? And yes, as Euro fans, we want diversity, and yes, we want things to change so much. And I would love to see a nice open Melodifestivalen with a lot of cool artists that really have a cool way of making music, but you can't deny it. Unforgettable is a pretty good song, and that staging looks absolutely incredible. I think they learned quite a few things from Dance You Off, because they open up the staging halfway through. Yeah, I cannot wait to see it. And it's cool to open the show with a song like that. Like, it's a quality pop song. It's nothing more than that. It's not going to be one of the songs that I'll repeat very often, but there will be a lot of people who enjoy this song, and I can't really fault them for it. It's pretty decent. Do I love Melfest? No, but I've kind of accepted that the past couple of years. They always find that one song they'll do well, and that's unfortunately how it is at this moment. That Finland.
I ask a question.
Yes, go.
Because since I don't know the song, do you think that, what's the name of the winning song again?
Unforgettable. Which is ironic.
I know, right?
It is, yeah.
Oh, here is the Matt laugh we all missed.
Okay, you two behave.
Anyways,
Matt, what's the question?
Oh, I forgot. Oh no, I remember. It's Unforgettable because you said like a slick professional pop song. Is it more like almost like too slick, like Dance You Off, potential flop, or is it more like it's really gonna resonate with people? Because it could go either way. Where do you fall there?
I could see it go both ways, but I think it is better than Dance You Off was. And it just feels like it's a very streamable song on Spotify, and I think that's its power, because a lot of the songs that were in the final and were in the selection ended up doing very well in Sweden. So, like, from their point of view, I don't think they need to change much, and that's unfortunate for Euro fans. But yeah, I don't think they need to change much. But going back to the question, I
completely disagree, by the way. But I'm going to answer you. I'll let you answer the question first, then I'm going to tell you where I completely disagree with that.
Yeah, I think Sweden. I mean, they're opening the show. It's a good pop song. People will still remember it and see it after all the songs have competed, and will probably still vote for it. It'll get jury votes as well, I think. So I think they're probably going to get a top 10 again.
And
Gabe.
Yeah, go ahead, Gabe.
I completely disagree that Melfest doesn't need to change. Because the last few years, essentially what we have is like the icing on the cake still looks good. So you can't see that the cake underneath has been burned or has gone moldy because it's been left out on the side too long, or is actually just the same thing that was served the previous 7 years.
I agree.
Like last year, Loreen saved it. And to be fair to Marcus and Martinez, because Air was a new thing then, unlike this year where they've just done Air again. Like, Air was a strong song. I listened to that. I streamed that song actually a hell of a lot. I really like that song. 6 Feet Under was still a pop song, pretending to be a rock song, but it was a lot more listenable than their effort this year. Although they both used both those songs. I also actually think they're essentially the same song because all the chord progressions are like the same. And they use this same trope of to go into music theory on people. They use this same trope of being in a minor key, but then in the post-chorus, using the major third to sort of artificially elevate it, which is great once. If you do it twice, it's like, well, you've written the same song. Anyway, what was I even talking about? Oh, yes. Under the surface, if you look behind that, the quality has been falling and falling and falling. They were bailed out by Cornelia Jacobs. They were bailed out by Loreen. They no longer have Cornelia Jacobs or Loreen. And if you keep going at this pace, you're going to end up with some really poor results by Swedish standards, which essentially means outside top 15. You're going to end up with some really poor results. This show needs diversity. It needs more variety of songwriters. I'm not saying there shouldn't be the amazing radio-produced pop that we're used to. I'm just saying you can have other things in addition to it, and you should. So I think, are they going to learn their lesson? No. But this is like, if you are woken up by your cat in the middle of the night, trust me, I promise this is relevant. If you're woken up by your cat in the middle of the night, you never feed the cat. Because if you feed the cat, it will wake you up every night and expect to be fed. Sweden is a cat that has been waking us up in the middle of the night for the last couple of years, and we have been feeding it. It's now learned this behavior, and it's reinforced that negative trend. As a result, Sweden is going to do worse in future. And we are going to get woken up in the middle of the night. Marcus and Martinez are coming to our houses. They're going to break into my house and kidnap me because I've been critical of their song. Sorry, Marcus and Martinez. I'm getting increasingly. I'm straying really far away now, and I feel like I've kind of lost chat on this.
Yeah, I'm like.
My point is, you can't reinforce negative behavior because Sweden has had a good result from a bad format 2 years in a row. They're going to do the same thing again this year and probably next year, and it's gonna bite them in the backside. There we go. That's what I was trying to say in much less words.
Then answer my question again. I guess what was your answer to my question? Do you think it's going to be more like a Benjamin and Grosso, or you think it's not going to be it's just good enough?
I think because we know that opening the voting for the whole show, which is a change they've just made, voting is going to be open from the start again, like it was in like 2010 or whatever.
All right. I was curious.
It's not going to make that much of a difference, but I think it is going to suffer a bit in the televote as a result of going first. The bright side of this is that staging may take some time to get into place, and by going first, it means that they don't have the unfair advantage of being given 3 times as much. No, I can't do this again. I'm not going to do this again.
They're going first?
Yes, they've been drawn to part. They're going first in the running order.
No way.
Yep.
There goes my conspiracy theory, because I was like, lately the hosts usually got really good draws. I'm like, clearly they're not going to have the first 10 positions or whatever, 8 positions in that pod. I'm like, I guess I was wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is that a good opener?
Yes.
I think so.
Good pop song. Good pop song.
Good pop song.
But it's like, okay. I think you will hear, when you hear it, without spoiling it, when you hear it, you'll be like, well, Sweden is still pressing the same button over and over and over again. But yeah.
The thing is, though, it's, you only see it that way because you follow Melfest every single year, and the people in general won't really know. Like, they'll just hear this song and be like, oh, it's a good pop song. Mm-hmm. And, like, they don't know what the selection procedure behind it is and stuff like that. Like,
is this, being honest with ourselves, though, is it anywhere... Obviously, it's no tattoo.
No.
Like, it's not really any better than... it's definitely not better than Cornelia Jacobs either.
No.
It clears Tussa's song from 2021 by not very much.
I disagree. I think it clears it by quite a margin. But that's all right.
So,
no, but like the most disappointing drops in Eurovision songs competition. Sorry, I'm being really grumpy and fighty now. I need to stop.
What did you want to say, Matt?
I was. What's I gonna say? What's I gonna say?
The comments. You were going to say something about the comments.
Oh yeah, the comments. Thank you. I'm just briefly paid attention to them. It seems like people kind of agree with you. So it seems as people are just in like, it's a nice song, but not much like this is like the best. So I was just curious, is that like what you guys observed as well with other folks over the past, because I think that was just this past weekend, right? The national final.
Yep.
Is that what kind of like is being perceived the song? It's not like a Next Tattoo or Hold Me Closer kind of hype.
No. But like, I think that the people who will vote, which are just casuals, they will see that performance and hear the song and be like, that was a good pop song. I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed watching it. And yeah, I don't think it will have that big of an impact as with the Euro fandom, to be honest.
And then they'll hear the other 25 songs, including, and we're not going to talk about which songs they are, but I think you can think, you know which ones, Roy. There are other strong pop songs along this kind of line in the competition that blow this out of the water. So
I don't know which one, to be honest.
Can I ask a question?
A certain man with who has this, like a plaster over his neck, just over his nose, just here. Do you know who I'm talking about?
No.
His performance, he wears all reds. It's a club banger.
Oh, yeah, okay.
There we go.
Okay, fair enough.
I'm enjoying this like smoke and mirrors, like tell people what the song is without saying the name of the song or the country.
Yeah, true. They're kind of fishing into the same pond, which could be an interesting one.
Can I ask one of the questions from the readers?
Yes, of course. Which
Medina.
one?
Oh, they were in there as well. It's from Smultron Poike. Medina has said they are open to returning to Melfest and that it's about time Sweden sends something in Swedish. Do you think they could pull a win in a future Melfest? Do you see with the current, let me also add then that this portion to the question, do you think Sweden sending a Swedish song in the near future with the way things are going? Because I don't think they have sent a Swedish song since the language rule was dropped. Finland had it, but not Sweden. What do you guys think?
I would.
Which one?
I would say, I mean, if there's gonna be a Swedish language entry in the next few years, I would say it would be Medina. I think they're the ones who are clearly who are resonating best with the Swedish public. I think they have, they're very relevant to, what is popular at the moment in Sweden. At the same time, it's just clearly so difficult to win with a song in Swedish.
Yeah.
So
I was just curious. Yeah,
I think if it's going to be anyone, it's going to be them, and I would really love to see that because I do find them I found their performance really enjoyable, even if I thought that song from a couple of years ago was better. I just still think it's going to be a real uphill battle to drag them kicking and screaming into sending a song in Swedish.
Yeah, no, I agree, but I was just curious what you guys were thinking. Anyways, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I don't know if Medina is the one to do it, but I don't think it's going to happen anytime soon. And to be honest, maybe Sweden just needs a bad result, and then they might change it. It's not going to be a bad thing to have a bad result. It can happen. Maybe that's what they need. I kind of enjoy it.
And Melfest, we know it's good at evolving. Melfest has evolved in the past. It'll evolve again. That's why, as well, we should be critical now because it's a show that it's a living, breathing thing, and they respond to changing circumstances, and that's part of what keeps it strong. Sorry, that's the last thing I'd say.
Yeah. It's time to move on. The next country that we're going to talk about is a country that also had their national final commence this weekend. If my videos want to load, I'm having a bit of lag issues. Let's see. There we go. It is Portugal. Yolanda has won the Portuguese selection Festival da Canção. After 3 weeks of competition, her song Grito was the favorite after all the jury votes were handed out. The televote preferred João Borges' song, placing Yolanda in second place. This was overall still enough to take home the victory, meaning she now has the right to perform for her country at Eurovision. Yolanda will bring her song Grito in the second half of the first semi-final. Did you stay up to watch Festival de Canção, Gabe? What did you think of the final? Because we've been talking about Festival de Canção for the past couple of weeks. And do you think this is the right winner?
So unfortunately I had to go out after Melfest. Well, I say unfortunately, I went out and had a very nice evening, but I had to go out after Melfest. So I did miss Festival de Canção, unfortunately. That said, this was the song that I think there was a quite high level of opinion for what I was seeing on Twitter, probably in my own personal Twitter bubble. It seemed to me that a lot of people wanted Yolanda to win, and what I really have to say is, what a voice, and what vocal control as well. This is a song that builds really nicely to me, and it reaches a quite dramatic conclusion that really shows off her voice, but it doesn't feel forced. It doesn't feel like the sort of Eurovision style, and now I'm going to do a big note. It
Wow,
felt
do it.
so smooth, and and her voice just has like this tiny little bit of rasp on the big note that's just perfect. And so I just heard it, I was like, oh, wonderful, lovely, excellent. I'm so pleased. I really love the things Portugal do in this contest. Like, it's like what I was saying before about Australia, and sort of broadening horizons and things like this, and the showing a little bit of your culture. Portugal are brilliant at that, and this song does that too. And I am really, really delighted, and I think she has a good chance too. So I am very happy. What about you? Thoughts, fears?
The thing is, I never really got into this song as much as other fans have been. I think it's good, it's very solid, and she's an incredible performer. And to be honest, it is the song that should have won in Portugal. I just think that Festival de Canção this year was a little underwhelming compared to the last couple of years. But still, if you put the song in the context of this entire competition, I think it stands out quite nicely. It is more of a ballady kind of song, and her vocals are really, really good. I think that will shine through. I like the staging of it as well. It's very white. It feels very clean, very polished, and that's something that maybe Portugal isn't very used to always, but it really fits this song, and it really fits her nice voice, and it's very smooth, and that really puts it through into the staging, and I hope they can kind of keep it that way. How will it do in the competition? It's quite a unique song in the lineup, but again, it's a bit more of a ballady song, and it's televote only, so we never know. That being said, I think that locals will be seeing this performance and think the same that you think. Like, this is a professional at work. Her voice sounds so incredible, and people will definitely resonate with that enough to give her enough points to clear at least 6 countries. I think it will be enough to qualify. But was she in the first half? No, the second half, which is also very nice for her.
I think.
What do you think, Matt?
Oh yeah, Matt, you go first.
Well, I think that Portugal could potentially come last. Okay, I'm going to stop that. I'm not gonna do that I don't know. I don't know the song. All I can say is that whatever song was chosen, big shoes to fill according to my taste. Portugal was in my top last year.
Mm-hmm.
So to beat Mimicat, it's gonna be rough. But I have an open mind when I do my live stream. I will be honest, but yeah, I am. It's like I'm trying not to have too many high expectations. But no, I don't want to ask what genre it is, because then I go in with expectations. So yeah, I don't know, but it's Portugal. They usually do not pick the songs that I want to win, or it's a hit or miss, I should say, because sometimes they do, but oftentimes they don't. So I don't know.
I think this would have been the one you would pick.
Really? I was going to ask, do you think I would like it?
I think you will.
Yeah, I think so too. Maybe not to the extent of I Curaçao, but who knows? I think you would probably enjoy it.
Yeah.
I will say, in terms of its qualification chances, I mean, we've got the semi-final up there again. Mm-hmm. I think its surroundings, stylistically and in terms of strength, are favourable. And and I'm actually, as a result, I'm really quite positive about this. The semi-final could have been a lot worse than it is in terms of difficulty to qualify. A couple of decisions were made that have made it a little more straightforward, in my opinion. Especially when it comes to, again, without giving too much away, if we want to talk about competing for votes around ballads, there were national finals that could have gone differently. The one I'm thinking of is if Crick had won in Luxembourg instead of Tally. Drowning in the Rain was a ballad that would have been competing for some of the same votes. They would have then been in the same half. Obviously, Raven with Veronica, little more powerful. It's sort of overlapping, but not as much. And then, now, Matt, I'm sure this isn't a spoiler because you can look at No Rules by Windows 95 Man and know it's not going to be a ballad. Having a very energetic song like that in the vicinity is good for a song like this as well. So I'm optimistic. In fact, I'm very optimistic at the moment, and I think it's going to go to the final, at which point it will do great because the juries will love it.
So it's a jury-friendly song from what
very.
Do you think is this a potential closer of the semi? No, it's not a closing.
No, I think Finland is closing the semi-final.
That would make sense.
I think Finland is closing the semi-final because it's a party, it's
okay. No rules, huh?
Yeah, with an exclamation mark. It's like no rules.
I know. I cannot wait. All right. Sorry, go ahead.
Yes, let's see if there's any questions in the chat about Portugal.
I'm sorry. Why you do that? I'm sorry, Roy. You said it's a qualifier or not? Portugal, as of right now, your first hunch.
I think it is. I definitely think at this moment, the second half has a bit more similar songs than the first half has, so it might not stand out as much in the half, but I think it is very much quality, and in the second half that will really shine through, and it's a nice performance. She's a professional, that will shine through, and I think as of right now, Portugal would qualify in my opinion. Do you agree, Gabe?
I think yes, definitely. I think it's qualifying.
All right, go ahead. So you had a question. You said something like that, right?
Yes, Raphael. I'll also get rid of the visual. I think it's been lagging a little bit, my Streamlabs, but we can see it anyways. Do you think Portugal can end up a short top 10 in the juries in the final? What do you think, Gabe?
Yes.
I think so
I do. I think this is going to do very well with the juries. Top 5 for the juries potential.
I'm not sure if I go that far, but yeah, definitely in the Southern European countries, I think this will do very well with the juries. There's other songs that I could also see do incredibly well, and it's not going to be as polarizing as people think. But yeah, I think it's pretty clear cut that this will do well with the juries. Let's see.
Someone said they got the tag a bit wrong, but I will address it on the what about the lack of neighboring voting. I would point out in the last year, that's the one. Last year, the semi-finals really coalesced around 10 or 11 songs anyway. So you actually saw generally extremely high levels of agreement. So that suggests that depending on the complexion of the songs, that neighboring voting thing can mostly be negated. Because the semi-finals are quite small, you're only ever going to have one or two friends anyway. Take, for example, especially with there not being so many Balkan countries, we can expect Croatia and Serbia maybe in semi-final one.
But look at Lithuania. Lithuania is going to get Ireland. It's going to get probably some Poland, some UK. There was another country I think I saw. So I think Lithuania.
Yes, but also, Matt, again, without giving away too much, Lithuania would be just fine anyway.
Yeah, don't worry about Lithuania.
I disagree. I think it's a bad song.
Oh,
I don't know.
To be honest,
not listened to one single note.
To be honest, I could see Matt not liking that song.
I could see Matt not liking that
not
song, but then we will shout at Matt the whole season for not liking that song, so it's fine.
Okay, great. No pressure.
Yeah, I see your comments, by the way. There's so many in jokes for you to get up to speed with, Matt, why everyone is posting look talk with a pray emoji in chat.
Oh yeah.
Look talk with a question mark. Look talk.
Look talk.
Okay. All will be explained in due course.
No, exactly. You will never get it anyway.
Matt, you're going to understand nothing for ages, okay? We'll catch you up. Just give us some streams and once you've heard all the songs, we'll explain everything.
Luktelk?
But
It sounds like an
Luktelk?
alien language when you say it like that. Okay, anyways, go ahead.
It is in Lithuanian, to be fair, which is not an alien language. That's not the bridge I was going to make. But
Not that kind of
it sounds
alien. I
like
mean,
that.
like outer space.
Roy, can we
I'm
both?
sorry.
The pair of you right now are sounding like Brexit. Like, oh, they're speaking foreign.
I'm sorry. It's not how it was meant to sound, or that sentence.
Okay,
Good.
right.
My English is going off the rails.
Sure.
Lithuanians in chat. To be clear, you have a beautiful language and a beautiful nation, and we respect it very much. And also, you have a great song. Now, let's move on as quickly as we possibly can.
Yes, we go to the next country. And the next country is a country that have decided quite a long time ago. And again, my Streamlabs is very, very, very laggy. So I'm clicking on the video thingy and it's not really doing anything. So I'm stalling for time right now, which is definitely not visible at all by the words I'm slurring out. I think I am there. So let's go to Albania. The artist Besa had already won the Albanian selection Festivali Këngës back in December, but last night the rework of her song was revealed. The song is now called Titan with a small I for some reason, and has been fully translated into English. More changes were made in the orchestration and production of the song as well, and will be the version that Besa will perform at Eurovision. Besa will perform Titan in the first half of the second semi-final. And for a change, I'll start off with this one because people always forget about Albania as long as the song wins, basically. And then when the revamp comes out, they were like, "Oh, it's not that good." But like, the people won't hear that first version of the Albanian song; they'll hear this version of the song. And hearing this song on its own, I think it's actually pretty solid. They did a really good job revamping that song. It was very much written for the orchestrations of Festivali Këngës, and it felt a little bit dated here and there. I think there's a little breakdown in between where they added a nice instrumental that really elevates the song into the new era, basically. It still sounds like a very familiar song, and I can still not pinpoint which one it is, but it sounds like a Eurovision song that I've heard before. People in chat might know what I'm talking about. I still don't know which one it is, but every time I listen to it, I'm like, okay, this sounds like a song that I should know. Which one is it? I don't know. That being said, I think this is one of those songs that the locals will see for the very first time, are not influenced by Festivali Këngës and its results and anything like it. And they'll probably really like this song. Besa has good vocals as well. I think this could actually do better than people will be thinking at this moment. And I think Albania, for once, did a really good job with revamping and reworking this song. What do you think, Gabe?
No.
Okay, Matt, what did you think?
It may come last. Okay, I'm done.
Okay, no. There are good Albanian revamps. Karma, unreal. That was an amazing revamp.
Oh, Karma. Yes, sorry, I had it wrong on the head. Yes, Karma's good.
Amazing revamp. And then there are the Peral to Fairy Tale style revamps, which are much worse. This is one of those. Now, the song did need some work, although I did really enjoy it initially. It was my favorite in Festival Këngës, and I was glad to see it win. The televote, that is, it didn't win it didn't even place in the top 3 of the actual show, bizarrely. Instead, it was won by Albanian Wreck-It Ralph. Was he singing? No. Was he having a nice time? Well, the audience certainly weren't. Anyway,
Wreck-It Ralph. The reference just clicked.
But you know what I mean, right?
I know exactly what you mean. You mean
He's just a giant man. He's really funny. It's like when you see someone who's so muscly, it's like, why do you exist? No, not Mason.
No.
The guy, some other guy. Matt, we'll catch up all of this in due course. Anyway, this revamp for me is much worse. They've developed it. They've not developed it in a direction that is to my liking. Did I enjoy it? Yes, I didn't enjoy it as much as the original.
Okay.
And unfortunately, I think it's a step backwards in terms of the chances of them qualifying.
I think maybe that's where we differ, because I had it more the opposite way around. Like Besa was like my 8th or 9th place in the selection, and then I was like, yeah, it's all right. She can sing pretty well, and it's pretty decent. But then now the revamp made it like a lot more slick, a lot more polished, just a lot better in general. I think, I don't know, it's just made it more modern, and I like it a bit more. I think it is a bit more accessible for people who don't know the song yet.
Yeah, I do also want to just highlight one other thing which amused me, which has happened in the last couple of weeks, which is that Bessa tweeted to say, "I want 10 dedicated fans to listen to the revamp first." She chose 10 people and then never sent them anything, and then posted again saying, "Hey guys, if you sign up to my newsletter, you'll get it. You'll get the song first at midnight." A bunch of people signed up to her newsletter. It gets to midnight. The song doesn't come out. Then half an hour later, someone somehow finds the music video, which is unlisted on YouTube, and leaks it. It gets like 2,000 views in an hour. They then go, "Oh, screw it," publish it, and then delete it afterwards. So it was like the most botched launch of all time, and included I don't know if things were just like chaotic in the on Team Bessa or whatever, but they did like 15 things, and they're like, "Well, you can hear the song if you did that, do this," and then we're just like, actually, no. So I think it's hilarious and it's chaotic, and I love it. I still enjoy the song, but I am going to keep listening to the original version.
All right, let's do the exercise again. Do you think, number one, Albania will qualify from semi 2, and number 2, will it open the semi? Roy.
I trying to put up the graphics. Let me see. Semifinal 1 it was, right? Second semifinal. I just come on. There we go.
You were just testing us.
Yeah, definitely. Oh no, this song is not opening a semi-final. It's going to be Austria.
Yeah. Oh, you said that. Okay, yeah.
If it's not Austria, I'll be really, really surprised. And if it is not Austria, then maybe Malta or something. But this is too ballady to open.
Then let me ask the question: is it going to qualify?
No.
As of right now, so Gabe doesn't think so. Roy,
I don't know. It's a very open semi, but as of right now, I'd say no. But I don't think either version did.
I can't see it. It's not an opener. It's not really. I just think it's the good qualities of the song are sadly not as accentuated in the revamp as they were in the initial version. In my opinion, maybe we'll see it differently, but like Albania kind of has on years and off years in terms of they have their playbook of taking whatever wins. In fact, no, I am going to say FIK. Yeah, FIK. None of this fic business. And chat, you can come at me for it. I'm going to keep saying FIK.
Or say the full name.
Festivale. No, I can't pronounce it. But they have this playbook of tearing the song to shreds and rebuilding it. Some years it really works. They came top 10 with the televote last year. Some years it does not. This is one of those years, unfortunately, and I'm sad for Bessa that that's the case. But such is the way.
All right.
Yes. Are there any questions about Albania? Let's check the chat. My Streamlabs has really been lagging. Like it's taking 3 minutes to click on the next thing. So I'm sorry if that's
before.
Slowing us down a little bit today. But this is a question from Antoine Madelon. I think changing it to English is going to turn away the Albanian diaspora from voting for it. I'm not sure if this song was really about Albanians or anything in that. To be honest, I don't even really know what this song is about in general. I guess about Titans, about being big and strong and like powerful or something.
What you mean?
I'm
like
not a lyrics kind of guy.
Yeah, but
this is a song about being Mal Retkazeri.
Yeah.
Diaspora itself, I think, is almost like they will vote for you regardless. That's the whole idea. They don't necessarily vote based on merit. They vote on, because that's my country kind of thing. So I don't know if that's going to have an impact. Usually,
I don't think it will. I think it's still Albanian enough in a way. Like this is the Albanian song. Like no other country could send a song like this, I think, in a way.
Hmm.
But like it definitely lost a bit of it with having it in English. But on the other hand, I do think it improves it for being more accessible to other people in Europe and not necessarily Albanians or the diaspora from Albania. Yes. I see a lot of people talk about memorability of the song as well. I don't know, Gabe. Do you think it is memorable enough to sing it aloud, to dance to it in the shower, or whatever you do?
Well, I'm gonna go. I'll whack it on when I have my shower later, and I'll report back on that front. But I don't think so. It's a nice song. I just think it's going to get lost a little bit. I don't think it quite has the it doesn't really have much personality. Stevan in chat makes a good point that it's any country could have set this song, and it is true. It doesn't have much of an identity, which is a shame. It's not the only one that's in that position, but it is a bit of a shame. So I think for that reason, it is more on the forgettable side for me. What do you think? What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I struggle to really picture. I mean, I listened to it once today to feel my reaction, which will come tomorrow or on Wednesday or something like that. Shameless plug, Roy PM. Anyways,
subscribe to this one as well while you're at it. This one right here.
I yes, definitely. I haven't really had the time to listen to it multiple times, so that will come with time maybe. But I can definitely also think that this will be one of the songs that I'm not going to listen to that much. I do think it's an improvement of the original song. It's still not going to be one of my favorites, but that's just what it is. Should we go to the next country? I think so.
Yes.
And this will be a very interesting one because now Matt is not the only one who is completely in the dark, because today a certain country released their song and I was at uni and then had to prepare this live stream, so I had no time to film my reaction and I don't want to be spoiled by whatever song this is. It is Georgia. So Gabe is the only one who can talk. He can literally say whatever. I hope you chat keep him in tune with this one. But yeah, let's go to Georgia. Nutsa Buzaladze has been chosen to represent her country, Georgia, in the Eurovision Song Contest this year. The song she will be bringing is called Firefighter and was written by Ada Skitka and Darko Dimitrov, the latter of which also having written multiple Eurovision entries in the past, like, for example, Kruna, Proud, or Loco Loco. Nutsa Buzaladze will be singing her song Firefighter in the second half of the second semi-final. What do you think, Gabe?
This is banger. It's a banger. I love it. We talked about. I tweeted. That was my first thought. I've listened to it a few times. It's a little disjointed in some ways, but I think that's not going to come through on stage so much. We've seen plenty of very, sort of all over the place songs doing lots of different things. In the past, then doing well. So yeah, no, I think it's really, really good. I have a lot of time for it. And I would say Georgia is returning to the final with this. That said, I did say that about Echo last year.
Who was right about that one?
Okay, here he is. The Eurovision predictor has entered the room. Anyway, we had a... in my opinion, I think it's a stronger song. It's a stronger package. Although my personal taste was more towards Echo, this is a stronger package. This is what Georgia needs to be doing to get back to the final. So I'm excited about that prospect. Is it going to do great in the final? Maybe not. I think probably somewhere between 15th and 20th is its most likely finishing place. I think it's also at risk if it gets drawn first half in the final to be, well, it can't be the show opener, but to be near the start of the show, sort of to get people going.
Okay.
So lots to be optimistic about. Some things to be not so sure about. Let's see.
I got to do this again, since you're the only one who can answer this, Gabe. Is it going to close semi-2?
I could see it. Having a bop to close semi-final 2 would be an interesting choice. Would if I was running the show, would I close semi 2 with this song? I'm thinking most likely not, because you have a couple of other songs. I would probably put, if I had to choose one to close, I'd choose the Netherlands or Estonia. So
I think the Netherlands would be a good closer.
yeah. So Georgia, it could, but it probably won't, in my view.
All right.
What does the chat think of the song? Because, like I said, I haven't heard it either yet. This is the first time where I'm very unprepared. I'm sorry for that, but I literally just didn't have time. Like, I had to go home from uni, and there was no time to record anything. So, very sorry for that. I see a lot of people saying that some really like it, some think it's a bit messy. Do you think it is messy, Gabe, or what is your overall
It is
feeling
a
of the production?
little bit, but like it feels like it's a bit of a. It's meant to be like a kind of. It's the sort of bop that's meant to be a stage show. I think it gives you a lot to do with it live, but we should remember, like I said before, productions that are a little bit disjointed in the studio can really come together as a live performance, because you have all the other things, the staging, and dancers and everything else to make those things feel more cohesive. And I'm thinking, Nutsa Buzaladze is a strong performer, is an experienced performer. I can't see why her team would produce a song in this way if they didn't have a plan or a concept. So my opinion is not to worry on that front for now. Let's see what happens in the rehearsals. But I am going to be remaining optimistic for Georgia this year.
So
I think
as of right now, you think it's qualifying?
Yeah, I would say so. I think it's qualifying.
Okay. I'm going to get rid of that little visual again. See if there's any other questions in the chat. Oh, God, that's the wrong thing. Stevan says, it's good, but I can't remember how it goes not a day later. Oops. It's Karen Duff Breaking Bad coded. I don't know that last reference, but do you think it misses some memorability, like with Albania, for example, Gabe, or is it something totally different?
I think it's more memorable than Albania. How much more is how much more? Again, like I said before, if you're going to send abuse, we're just going to stop you posting on the channel. Anyway, it's more memorable than Albania, in my opinion, especially if this is right up against the end of the semi. I think it's in with a really strong chance. But yeah, in any case, give it time. Give them time. Give them the rehearsals. Let's see what they produce. For now, like I said, I'm staying optimistic.
Cool. Yeah, I don't really know what more to add. So I think we go on to the next topic, which is not a country, because today we had some changes being implemented for Eurovision 2024. The three pieces I really wanted to talk about, because we've already talked about Sweden being drawn first, so I don't think that's necessarily needed an entire topic. But the first thing that was announced, and here we go. Earlier today, there were changes announced to this upcoming Eurovision Song Contest. The first change was announced, and it was that the Big Five and the host will be performing their songs live in the semifinals, unlike previous years, where they only showed a clip at the end of the show. These performances will be squeezed within the running order of the semifinal itself. Wow. Gabe, what were your first thoughts when you read that?
Sounds like a good way to pad out a semi-final when you're insecure that there are too few songs in it.
Okay.
I think this may be partly. I think two things. I think it's a good idea because it gives the Big Five the same exposure as the songs that also participate in the semi-finals. But I think, would we be having this conversation if there were 18 songs per semi still? No, we wouldn't. And I think it maybe shows that the EBU is cognizant of the fact that the shows are a little short now. There are too few songs. We talked about Israel at the start, Niv. Literally the first thing we talked about in the stream. Anyway, the new system, I think, so there are good things, there are bad things. I think we wouldn't be having it if the semifinals were longer. I think it'll be interesting to see whether they, how they place them and whether they take them into account when constructing the running order of the semis. Because, for example, if you have a pop song like the UK's entry, no spoilers, Matt, but it's a pop song, you're not going to sort of put it in between pop songs if it's, it's spread out through the night. Let's see. But for now, I'm optimistic. I think it was the right thing to do. What do you think, Roy?
Honestly, I'm more like concerned about the execution because like the way they phrased it is that they're gonna do it through the performances. So there's like 3 countries that need to be shown on the broadcast in between all of the other songs that are actually competing in the semifinal. How will you tell the people at home these songs are not competing? They're already in the final. And how will they exactly implement that? That is more of the thing that I was concerned about. It's an okay thing that the Big Five and Sweden will get their full performance on the stage. And yes, it also is a way to pad out the semifinal a little more. But I don't know. I'm not sure if it was really necessary, to be honest. I'm a little indifferent about it. I just really want to see the execution of it and how they will distinguish to the people at home that these songs are not competing and they're just there for show. What do you think, Matt? This is something you can talk about because it's like just a rule change.
Yeah, I mean, I understand why they're doing it. I don't know if it's going to make a big difference because the thinking was since neither of the top 5 and the host have that same exposure like the other entries do, therefore they're at a disadvantage. I personally don't believe that's the case because we have seen, Germany win with that. I know it's kind of weird to say that Germany now because, that was last, but, a little while ago they did that and you saw Italy do the same thing. And so I don't necessarily think it's an issue with that, but I think it maybe gives Germany nowadays a little bit more hope that they're not going to get 0 points all the time. I understand that I'm quite not sure, as you point out, Roy, that this may be confusing to the viewers because they might always pay attention to every announcement and all that stuff. I'm like, oh yeah, I like the German song, whatever, or whatever. Let me vote for it. And like, no, you can't. So it's maybe confusing, but I do appreciate the exposure, I think. But in the end, they just haven't participated. I know why they're not doing it. We all know why. But I always say, if you are willing to pay to be in the finals, you kind of have to deal with the consequences as well. So that's my thinking. So if you want, and it's reality, and they pay their way into the finals, and they kind of have to because they pay for a big chunk of the contest. So as much as I want fairness, it's not going to happen. But that is then just a drawback from it. So I'd rather have the focus on the semifinalists. I do understand why it's happening. So yeah, I'm a little bit more like I'm indifferent about it. I don't have a super strong opinion.
I
just rare, right? Mark your calendar.
Yeah. What is this? Are you even mad? Can we fair? No. No, I saw something online where there was somebody pointing out an idea where they could have like a watermark on top of the performance when those big 5s are happening. Like, for example, when we have the online press center or even the screens in the press center in general where it says prohibited to film, which not always everybody abides by. But that's besides the point. Could you see them do something like that, perhaps, where they put on a little watermark to distinguish those songs from the real competition? Is that something they could do, or would that tamper too much with the performance? What do you think, Gabe?
I think it would look too ugly on screen. I think they'll not have numbers next to the country names. They'll probably put a disclaimer at the start and end being like, you cannot vote for this performance. Obviously, they'll be omitted from the recaps. So people just won't be able to vote for them, and they won't be given a number to vote for them. So I think this issue was maybe overblown slightly. I don't think, basically, exactly as Stephen just put it, XX, Germany, you cannot vote for this country. Something like that, just along the bottom, nice and simple. Nothing more than that required, in my view.
What do you think, Matt?
I think I'm starting to get worried because I see all these comments about Germany and poor Matt. So this is like now I'm getting a little worried that this is another Germany flop. But I don't want to believe it. I think you're all wrong. It's a wonderful song and it's gonna do really, really well. And once I listen to it, I may change my mind.
I just realized that. Okay, there was a song that was a massive favorite in Germany, and I am 100% certain that you would have loved that song. But it
Yeah.
didn't win in Germany, so
Didn't
Was it
even
the
come
jury's or the
second.
televoters' fault?
Both.
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 Yeah, but you would have
Of course.
loved that song. Like, I'm
See,
pretty
that's
sure.
Oh gosh, I don't even want to go back because then I'm just even sadder.
Yeah.
Did it come second, kind of thing?
No, came
No.
third.
No. Third?
Yeah, came third.
Okay.
Oh, it's bad. Anyway.
All right. I don't want to know more about it. I'm getting depressed already. All right, go ahead.
I think we've talked enough about the semifinals being with the big three, or well, three from the big five and host being implemented. So the next rule is an old rule will be reintroduced into 2024. That being that voting will now start at the beginning of the show. The voting window for the grand final will start shortly after the show has started and will close around 25 minutes after the last song has been performed. I guess it is to kind of counteract songs being there early. And I saw some people online like, of course, Sweden draws number one when this rule just got implemented. And yes, it is only in the grand final that this rule will be implemented.
What?
What do you think of this rule, Matt?
Oh, what? Okay, so sorry.
Surprise!
So, let me get this straight. And so we are we are now reintroducing the voting from the beginning rule, which we had in place years and years ago. You may recall that, right?
Yep.
And they got rid of it 2 or 3 years later, saying it doesn't make a difference because nobody votes early. So the moment Sweden draws first,
Okay,
they're like,
hold
you
on.
know what?
It was the other way around.
The rule was changed
Was it?
before that happened.
Okay, that's fair. I thought they introduced it after. Okay, I was
No.
like, what? Okay, then that's fair. That confused me. Then in that case, I don't think it didn't make a difference back then. Did they say why they're bringing it back?
I think to give a fair shot at the ones that are opening the show. Like, for example, you saw last year, I mean, that's not exactly the wording they used, of course, but you saw Austria being one of the biggest scoring songs in the semi-final and then really performing poorly in the televote in the grand final because they got drawn first. So it's probably to counteract that.
Yeah. So no, I mean, I'm in favor of it overall, only because it can only help the early songs, it cannot hurt them more, right? It's just based on what happened in 2010 and 11 that it didn't make a big difference. But we're talking about over a decade ago, so things may be different now. You know, the social media aspect and the hype before it. So I'll say go for it, give it a shot. I think it's only fair because you can vote for song number 25 in the beginning of the night, right? That's technically also possible. So it's also kaching, gives them money. So it's it's a little bit of everything. But yeah, overall I'm okay with that.
Gabe, what do you think?
I don't this one because it didn't make a difference last time. I don't see why that would be different now. Maybe they've seen some evidence, some briefing that voter behavior has changed, but I really can't see it making a change on that front. The point about engagement is good that you're just stuck on screen.
Yeah, that's basically
get people
the
engaged during the show. I guess the same thing. This is why they introduced rest of the world voting. They're trying to get viewers more invested in the show. That's a good thing. If it's not going to make much of a difference results-wise or in terms of the format, but it improves engagement, I'm all for it.
The only issue I could see is that people are very reactive in general, where they see a cool song and it being the fourth song of the night, then vote for it 20 times, and then they lost all of the votes, and then the rest cannot be, voted on anymore. But I don't think that will be that much of a thing. And I think still most people will vote at the end of the show anyways, because I would want to wait until I see all of the songs, because maybe there'll be something even cooler than the one you just watched. I don't think it will be much of a difference, but like you said, with the engagement from the start, I think that makes sense to get people talking, to get people tune in early, because we also know that sometimes people tune in later. It's a good way to counteract maybe being drawn first in the running order, but I don't think it will make too much of a difference in the grand scheme of things. And then there was one more rule announced. And the last announced change is that the rest of the world vote will have an extra window of voting after the second dress rehearsal and before the start of the real show. This change is implemented to accommodate people in different time zones also being able to vote in Eurovision. So basically, they're going to have a long voting period for the rest of the world vote. What do you guys think of it?
Wait,
Matt?
my brain's bad. So they get to vote how early? From the dress rehearsal?
After the
Like a
second
day
dress
before?
rehearsal. So it's more or less.
So they don't even know the songs and the running order and all of that stuff. Huh? I'm confused.
I don't know exactly how they'll implement it either. I like the idea behind it because, time zones and the rest of the world vote is literally the rest of the world. So you have to accommodate for time zones. But yeah, I don't understand how they implement it exactly either.
So I can call in Saturday morning after having my coffee and vote for country, whatever. And without even the show having even started for another 12 hours.
I guess so.
Huh? Maybe I'm missing something. I feel really dumb right now. Okay, but Gabe's physical, like your reaction, you kind of on the same boat?
I don't get it either.
Okay.
Either you have some sort of website where you have the dress rehearsal performances on, and then you have everything instantly leaked the day before the live shows, or you have people voting off of snippets, and neither of those are desirable outcomes. So I don't really understand why they're doing this unless it's to increase the number of total rest of the world votes. We should remember that when you vote from the rest of the world category, you pay the EBU to do it. You pay them directly. So I think they say they're accommodating time zones. I'm not sure I buy it. Like, I'm happy for for the whole world to vote in the show, but they should vote on the show in the time that everyone else votes on it. In my opinion.
I don't know. Is the rest of the world also in the semifinals or only in the grand final? Because if it's only in the grand final, then
it's in the semis as well.
Yeah, exactly. So
like
if it was only in the grand
makes
final,
no sense. It seems like a money grabber to me. So it's a little confusing because they're like, oh, okay, I'm just voting in the morning because I'm going to be at work in the evening, so I don't even watch the show. So you can vote without watching the show, which I guess it's just what it is. But yeah, it's odd to me. It's only one set of votes, so not the end of the world.
No, it's the rest of the world.
There. I know, no pun intended. But it's an odd introduction, and yeah, it seems like a pretty obvious why it is.
Yeah, I'm probably agreeing on your end with that one. I don't know. It's a bit puzzling to me as well how they're going to implement it exactly. But maybe more details will be revealed later, and then everything will be clear, and then we'll be like, oh, now it makes sense, or maybe not. I don't think I'll change much of opinion, but who knows?
Nobody, please go on social media though, because all the votes have been leaked of the rest of the world already, and country is winning, and everyone is like, Matt, did you see this? I'm like,
we get those every year. Every year they're wrong. I have never seen one correct voting results leak after a semi-final ever. Never believe them. They're never accurate.
Yeah. If my Streamlabs wants to collaborate, I would love to go to show you guys the semi-finals again, because we are going to talk about which songs we see non-qualifying at this moment from semi-final 1. So there's one song still left to be revealed, which is Azerbaijan. So how many are in this semi? 15? Am I stupid for
15
asking?
countries will compete in the first semi, it says. Yeah.
Exactly. So 15 countries will compete. Gabe, at this point, we're not including Azerbaijan, so 14. Which 4, as of right now, are you thinking, or do you think will non-qualify?
Before you
Matt,
say that, I'm
you may
gonna
need to
remove
close
my
your ears.
headset. So
Yeah.
just raise your hand when you're done.
Okay.
Okay. Right. The 4 countries that will not qualify out of what we have so far: Australia, Iceland, Luxembourg, Moldova.
Australia, Luxembourg, Iceland. Oh yeah, that's 4. Okay.
What are yours?
I agree on Iceland. I fear for Ireland. I think Australia as well, and I think Luxembourg as well. I think Moldova will squeeze through. Although also Slovenia is not a that certain one for me either. I don't know. I can see a world where that doesn't do as well as people expect it to do or want it to do. Are we in line with chat? Have you been keeping an eye on that?
I'm seeing a lot of similar, but I've seen a couple of other people. Some people have said Ireland. Some people have said, I've seen Cyprus a couple of times in there. Someone said Czechia. Czechia is not in this semi-final.
No.
What's really clear, though, is that there's a lot that we clearly agree, that everyone clearly agrees on. I haven't seen a single person say that they're worried for Croatia, Lithuania, Poland, Serbia, or Ukraine. So I think we can say now that those are the 5 we're absolutely confident about beyond all doubt. And people say, Ireland, Portugal, Slovenia, Cuba, they're all borderline. I am interested to see how little Portugal is cropping up, given that we were like, oh, it's going to qualify, but it's not guaranteed. I think a few people are saying Finland, but I have to say I don't really agree with that one. What do you think? I mean, what's your thoughts on Finland's chances?
No, I don't think so. It really stands out in this semifinal. If it was in the other semifinal, maybe, but then it still outshines a few of those other out there songs, and it's televote only. People will like it. Even they might not necessarily like the song, but this performance is so eye-catching that people will definitely vote for Finland. So I don't think they have much to fear about. Like, sure, vocally it might not be the best song, or maybe in general you think it's not maybe the best song, but it'll be eye-catching enough that people will vote for it, I think. You want to do the same for a semifinal too?
Hit me.
Okay. Well,
Was that a signal? I'm ready. Can I listen?
No. Stay away. No.
We're going to semifinal two now.
The wave will be up here. I'll do this when we've done that. It'll be one of these, okay?
Before you move on to semi 2, though, when you do that, let me know.
We're moving on to semi 2 now.
Yes.
What? Oh, you are? Because I want to do something. I'm just, since you're still on semi 1, I will pick 5 countries that I think will not qualify based on what I guess based on the setup. And then nothing has nothing to do with the song.
We keep the straightest face possible to make sure we don't influence you.
And there's nothing against the countries. It's really just like track record and the friends in the semis and all of that stuff. Okay.
Song titles, maybe.
Yeah. So I will say 5 of them will not make it, right? So I will pick Luxembourg just because of the non-existing track record.
Okay.
Ireland because it's Ireland. Okay. It's just been a tough ride.
But they've won 7 times, Matt.
Yeah, in 1850. But then we have Slovenia. It has been like a hit or miss. But they have... You know what? No, I will say Croatia because, that last year they went through, right? So, but maybe it was the one off. So I say Croatia will not qualify.
Okay.
And oh gosh, there's Iceland. No, Iceland has No, I say Iceland. Yeah. Because there was some comments I heard earlier. There was controversy. So I'm just saying Iceland. So once again, Croatia, Ireland, Iceland, Luxembourg, and what else did I say? Slovenia. Yeah, those are the 5 I'm guessing.
There are some hits and some misses in there, is all I will say.
Okay. I see a lot of LOLs in the chat, so I will
That was a very big miss there. Anyway.
Okay. Anyways, go ahead.
I'm going to move on to
let me know when you're done with it. I'll look at the list for semi 2 in the meantime.
Yeah.
Okay.
My Streamlabs, man. Come on.
Just to everyone in chat, remember, Matt has not heard a single one of the songs. He was doing it entirely based on vibes. He has not heard the songs yet because he's been off sick.
He's clearly not checked the odds either.
Yeah. And he's mostly just here today to like say hi to everyone and because he's missed everyone so much. Now, semi 2, let's do it.
Yes. It's so funny that he said Croatia.
So we have to take out Armenia because
because they're not out yet.
So we have then,
and I will take out Georgia as well because I have not heard the song.
Good point. So we have 15 here as well. I'm saying who's not going to qualify.
9, 10, 11, 12. Yeah.
Go. I'm ready.
Yeah, go.
Albania.
Oh, yep.
Malta.
Okay.
At this moment in time, Czech Republic.
Okay.
There's gonna be a tough decision in here.
Mm-hmm.
I hate to do this to San Marino because I really like the song. San Marino and Israel.
Ooh. Okay.
I think with the sort of the politics of it aside, I think those are the weakest songs. I just think they're the weakest songs. I think there's some of them that are like, I think Malta is a definite out. I think Albania is in big trouble. Czechia have more to come, I think, and I think they'll improve. So that's
they announced a revamp.
One. Yep, there's going to be a revamp. I think the performance will be much better. So that one's borderline. We can flip with Latvia. Maybe Latvia's maybe towards the edge. Like I said, I think the Israeli song is crap, to be honest. I don't like it at all. I just think it's a bad song. And it's quite amusing watching a number of people pretend to really, really love this song when it's just not a very good song. It's like, you're not subtle. You're not slick. But yeah. So those are my choices. What are yours?
Well, obviously, I have not heard Georgia either, so...
Oh? Roy? He's gone.
Okay, I don't see Roy anymore.
Oh, Roy is gone.
Oh, did he lose internet connection? Okay, well, what was he?
You go now.
Still talking?
Based on vibes, we're still doing second semi-final. Who's not going to qualify? Based on vibes.
So based on vibes and based on some of the comments you guys made earlier about Albania, I'll put them in there.
Hello.
Oops. My internet.
And those are the.
My internet.
And those
died.
are the 5 I picked.
No, Matt, the stream died. You're gonna have to start again.
I know. I'm just kidding.
I am very sorry. My internet died there for a moment. I still have to do my predictions real quick, Matt, and then we'll wait.
Okay, fine. I'll get back on mute, and you wait when you're done.
Yes, we will. Sorry, I'm not sure where it crashed out, but basically I said
it's time for your predictions. So go ahead.
So I agree with you on Albania and Czechia. I'm not sure if they have it in them to to really qualify. And after that, it's already quite difficult. I think Latvia could have a bit of a trouble, maybe. Like, he's got great vocals, but I'm not sure if that song is enough to elevate them to the grand final. And I'm gonna throw a curveball, because why not Estonia? There you have it. Okay, maybe Malta, but yeah, I wanted to see your reaction, to be honest. No, Malta.
Okay.
Those would be
okay.
my
Good. Oh,
you got triggered. Okay, let's wave to Matt so he can do his predictions, which are based on nothing, guys. Nothing.
Matt,
Hello.
Matt.
You're done?
Hi, Matt.
Is that for me, the waving? Okay.
Yes.
So I get to pick on vibes, right?
Yes.
And so I'm not sure. Some of them, this is a little bit easier because I think it's more straightforward, but I do one curveball, I think, there.
Okay. That's what I definitely didn't do.
So I think Albania will not qualify because based on the comments you made earlier.
Okay.
They've been in a lull for quite a few years, so I'm going to put Malta in there.
Okay.
Same for Latvia, so I'm going to put Latvia in there.
Okay.
Then I will say Georgia, because again, they've been a little wobbly as well. And then I actually, because I see Italy and Spain voting in the semi, I think San Marino with Megara will go through, and I will throw in the curveball. Sorry, Roy, the Netherlands, because the name Europapa makes me nervous. So that's why I am doing that. So, but again, could be the most amazing song ever, but who knows? So those are my 4 or 5 picks based only on vibes.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah.
Thank you for your
hits
poker
and some
face.
misses.
I appreciate it.
Some
And I
hits
will
and some
not
misses
look at
again.
the chat. Yeah. I don't know the song.
Matt. Oh, Matt, we love you.
We really do. We really, really do.
Now that segment is out of the way, it is time for ending it kind of off with a little bit of an open Q&A. So if you have any question for us, again, my page is not. No, what? Okay.
Oh, now it's just me. Hello. I'm ESCUnited now. So, guys, if you have any more questions, put them in chat, and well, I guess I will answer them. I can hear Matt in the distance, so he might.
Can you
be
hear
around
me
as
still?
well. I can hear you. I don't know if anyone
you
else
cannot
can
see
hear
me.
you. I can't
can-
see
oh.
you.
Well, I cannot see myself either. I mean, but
I can't
see
tell if anyone in chat. Can you hear Matt? Also, I'm going to answer.
Roy is stupid. Roy is so stupid. Oh, there
Hello.
he is. Hi.
Hello.
Roy, can you take semi-final 2 off?
Yeah, I know. My internet is not having the best of times today. I'm very sorry.
It's quite all right. It is quite all right.
There we go.
Someone
this
asks
was
the
not
question,
yet.
what
There
is
we go.
going on? That's a great question. Roy's having internet troubles.
Yeah.
I'm here for the chaos.
Um,
This has been going on while I was gone.
Why hasn't Matt heard the songs? Because he's been ill. He's going to listen to them all soon. As you can see, he is here with us and he's on the mend. Question regarding there was a spin-off called Bundesvision. Do you believe that'll work for a new national final concept? I think it's a bit too contrived. And the reason I think that something like that is a bit too contrived is because if you're going to have that sort of regional thing, that means you have to have the broadcaster essentially running a load of sub-selections. So the amount of work you have to do is very high because you're not just looking for 8 artists to go to a national final. You're looking for an artist from North Rhine-Westphalia and an artist from Bavaria, an artist from like the Free City of Hamburg, an artist from Brandenburg, an artist from Saarland, and things like this. I think it'd be really, really tough to run. So a not smart concept in my opinion.
To be fair, in the Netherlands this year, we had something similar where from every regional broadcaster, they had put forward a representative who could not have had a top 40 song. And they had like a little competition with them, like in between them. But I don't think that will any time be considered for Eurovision because there's not that much budget going around in those places. But it was a really cool thing to just have in your country happening. It's very cool.
What do you think, Matt?
I'm sorry, what was the question?
Do you remember Bundesvision, that like regional German song contest?
I know of it, yes. They canceled that though years ago.
Do you think that would be a good national final concept?
Oh, that's what you can try. Yeah, so I get where you're coming from with the like for the purpose of Eurovision, I totally get that. At the same time, like, it can only go up at this point. Like it can't get much lower where they're at right now, so may as well give it a shot. I don't know how popular the actual winners were in Germany. Did they chart at all? Were those songs popular, or was it really just a no?
No.
Matt, this isn't a spoiler to say it's Germany.
Yeah, exactly. That's true. It's not that bad music. They have great music, but it's just when it comes to this stuff, it's just not their thing. And so I think it can't get any worse. So you could go try it, but I don't know. Is it for Germany maybe just the best option to go internal?
I would
too. I see another fun question that we could play with, Matt.
Remind everyone to ask me fun questions because I don't know anything. So that's the fun
Exactly.
part.
So this is what the question is about. And I'm going to extend it slightly. Anne van Ruitenbeek is asking, who does Matt think is gonna win based on vibes. I'm gonna ask you a top 3 there, Matt. So give us a top 3.
3.
Yes, based on vibes.
The vibes. Oh, the vibes. And that's so hard because I cannot even look at like competition because we don't know who's going to qualify. So I will say not Germany from the comments I'm hearing.
Have some faith.
I feel like this year it's Spain's year, so I'm going to put Spain in the top 3. That's the one from the direct qualifiers.
Okay.
I will not put in Sweden because I feel like that's just a lukewarm response to that one. Italy is always a good bet. But hang on, let me look at the semifinalists again. Ukraine is a good bet as well, huh?
Chat really loved the Spain answer.
Oh, really?
Yes. I love it as well, actually.
So, okay, in that case, I will pick Spain in the top 3, y'all. Make it happen. Then I will pick Ukraine. Top 3 for Ukraine.
Okay.
And I almost want to say Italy, but I don't have enough balls to put 2 direct qualifiers in the. Although that happened before, not too long ago.
True.
I don't know the third one. The pressure's on. I will say Italy. What the heck? So Italy, Spain, and Ukraine. There you go.
Now that they're finally sending a woman after like very many years.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. Oh, yes. I didn't even look at that. I'm being trolled here.
A woman has won Sanremo match.
No.
We didn't know it was possible, but we love it.
They really did. And you know what was incredible? There were multiple women in the top 3.
Really?
2 of the top 3 were women. Yeah.
Yeah.
Then maybe
we are
eventually
living in enlightened times.
Well, maybe in the near future, a guy will win in Ukraine. Oh, Melovin won the last one, right? That's the last time.
Melovin was in the selection actually this year. He got 2nd place.
Oh, was he?
Yeah.
Oh.
And also, I guess they technically didn't win because they went to Eurovision anyway. Kalisz Orchestra
True.
did go to Eurovision. I know they finished 2nd, but they went to Eurovision.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's see if there's any other interesting.
And Goe had male members as well.
True. If you have any questions at ESCUnited, so we can see that they're directed at us. I see a lot of people reacting very nicely to that Spain comment.
I've seen a few just in the last.
Can I change it? No, now I'm getting nervous again.
No, too late. You're stuck with it. I've seen a few people in the last minute sort of questions like which things to do with. On one side, what do you think of the Israeli entry? On the other side, people saying, what do you think Israel should participate? And also, should we boycott Israel? The short answer, the long answer is at the start of the video. It's the first thing we talked about on the stream. The short answer is all 3 of us think that Israel should not be in Eurovision. Just to restate that, because we've been on stream for a couple of hours now, and we talked about it about 2 hours ago. Feel free to go back and watch that if you want, and you'll get all of our opinions. Just a reminder, as I said earlier, if you send an abusive message into the chat, it will be the last message you ever send into the chat on this channel. With that in mind, if you want to hear about that, you can go back and listen to it. How do you think Switzerland and Malta will do this year? And also FF, who is winning the girly bop category? That question's been asked.
I don't know what the girly bops are, so that's a little bit hard for me to guess.
I'm going to say I'll answer. I can answer on girly bop because I'll give an answer that neither of you two will. I can guarantee.
Okay.
Georgia.
Oh yeah, I have not heard it, so I cannot say that.
But you haven't heard anything, Roy, and obviously Matt, for you, it's pure vibes. So Matt, how do you think Switzerland and Malta are going to do?
So Malta is not going to qualify. I predicted that earlier.
You predicted that?
Yeah, so I'll stick to that. And what was the other one? Switzerland. That's a tricky one. So I will just going to give a very boring answer because Switzerland doesn't give me any. What's it called? Nemo the Code.
Yes.
I will say that Switzerland will qualify and will do quite well with the juries and then once again disappoints with the televoters. So I think like an 18th place in the final. There you go.
Oh.
I have no idea. But that has been like the trend the past couple of years, so I'm just sticking to the trend.
We'll keep
I'm
our
actually
poker
very
faces.
curious for your reaction on Switzerland. That would be pretty cool.
What?
I'm very curious for your reaction on Switzerland. Like that can literally go anyway. I think.
Oh, interesting. Somebody asked me what I think about what the song "Rimmy Timmy Limmy" is about. Well, that was
Rim
Croatia,
Tim
right?
Taggy Dim. Rim
From
Tim
Baby
Taggy Dim.
Lasagna.
Okay, well, I think the song's about a guy named Tim who had the outer edge of his
He's doing
rim.
what? Stop! Stop! God is watching, Matt. Stop! God is watching.
God is watching. No, it's Tim. It's a song about a guy named Tim who has on the edge of his rim a taggy that's very dim. I don't know. It sounds like it's like Dum Tek Tek. You know, it's like the sound or something like that. Oh, I'm not really doing really good, am I?
I need to clear my ears with soap. Okay.
What have I done? What's so weird about this? Does that really have a deep meaning? Don't tell me it's a very meaningful, deep
No.
song.
It's just what you said was quite funny.
Well, you know, it's very. He dimmed the lights, the dim, and then Tim said,
"Can we please?"
Let's protect the rim of my glass.
He said nothing. Tim said nothing. Everyone said nothing, and then they and nothing happened, and they said nothing, and that was it, and that was the end of it.
Y'all get the mind out of your gutter. I'm talking about the edge of an object, like a glass, a rim. Oh my. Okay, so people already talking about something else. Anyways.
No, you talked about a basketball. Like.
Oh yeah, that kind of rim. Exactly. I wasn't thinking on the glass, but that works.
I got it immediately.
Thank you. I usually dim the lights when I drink off the rim of my glass, and Tim does as well. Yeah, go ahead.
Every day. That's what a tag is for, probably.
Anyways, go ahead. Sorry.
Should we ask another question?
I think so.
I'm just trying to move a lot past this.
This is a fun one. Matt, what do you think will be the joke entries this year, if there are any, of course?
Well, I can based on the titles.
Okay.
Tim's rim. Then let's see here. I'm going through the song titles. Nendest.
Okay.
I'd fill in the rest.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking at this right now. So Rimmy Timmy, Nendest. Before the party's over? No, not that one. Europapa. So those are the three names that stand out to me. Let me go to the direct qualifiers. Yeah, so if I'm just looking at the names, Rimmy Tim Taggy Dim, Nendest, and Europapa.
I love how Gabe's microphone was muted for trying to correct you to say Rim Tim Tagidim. But yeah.
Rim Tim Taggy Dim? No?
Yes.
Is that wrong? Is it rhyme time,
right.
take a time?
No, stop. You were right that time. You were right. That was fine. That was fine.
Oh, wait. I want to say something before. I only looked at the titles. Just looking at the artist name, I would maybe throw Finland in there because Windows 95 Man and Baby Lasagna, of course, Croatia. And I am curious about Bambi Thug.
Ooh.
So that kind of raises a little bit as well. And the rest sounds pretty straightforward, right? But then that could be deceiving.
Oh, this is so fun. To be honest, I
totally
cannot wait for you to listen to these songs and know what you think of all of them, because you are sometimes a very difficult man to predict with what you like and what you don't like.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Yeah, it's a mixed bag.
Do we have any more questions from the assembled audience for us?
I see a question. Last year, we had 2-0 points. Do you think this can happen this year?
Do I wish it would? Yes. You can guess who
Yes.
for. Do I think it
More
will?
than
No.
Croatia. Because as I put at the bottom.
I
don't know.
Croatia.
I don't know.
Who are going to tell him? Who are gonna tell him?
Is
Okay.
Malta gonna win this thing? Is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah, sure.
Anyways.
Let's go with that.
All right. Whatever.
Yeah. I think we have been talking for quite a long time already, and I think it is about time to wrap it all up, because it's been a very eventful evening. I hope you guys enjoyed the ride. We definitely enjoyed your company as well. It was great to have Matt back as well. Gabe, some final
One
things
thing
you want to say?
Can I say?
Yeah,
just
we're
one
gonna
last-
do a little round and then we.
Okay.
So Gabe.
Final things. Obviously, thank you everyone for coming. As always, one thing I have done on every occasion when we have discussed Israel and its political context and its inclusion is to encourage people to donate to causes which help protect and save innocent lives in Palestine, that protect Palestinians who are getting medical aid to Palestinians. The organization I usually advocate for is Medical Aid for Palestinians. They're a UK-based charity. There are lots of other good ones in other countries. But I know there are a lot of people who are angry about this. I think one thing that it's important for us all to do is to make, as well as being angry, to convert that anger into compassion, convert that anger into saving people's lives, and to enabling those people to live the kinds of lives where they feel the joy that Eurovision has always given us. For that reason, donate to human rights advocacy organizations, donate to organizations that are providing medical aid. We are so lucky, so privileged to be able to sit in our warm homes and without the fear of what might come tomorrow and talk about Eurovision. A lot of people don't have that privilege right now. So please, 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 please do what you can. Help support those people who need it the most right now. That's my final statement for today.
Matt.
Okay.
Final words.
What I just wanted to, I mentioned it earlier, but what I will do is, I don't know exactly how I'm going to get done because of all the copyright stuff. So I'm probably just going to put pictures up rather than videos, but I will do live streams. My plan is to do one this Saturday for the first half of semi and some of the direct qualifiers. And then on Sunday, the next day, for the second half. And then the following weekend, I will do the same thing for semifinal 2. So that the next Saturday, Sundays, the next 2, I will be reacting to all the 30. What do we have? 7 songs this year?
37.
Yep.
37. And then share my thoughts. And if any of you guys can join, or with somebody on the team that can give me some insight into the deets.
Yeah.
But
we'll talk about that after the stream.
Yeah. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for being back. It was a delight having you on. And I want to thank everybody in the chat who has joined and stayed respectful and open-minded and, have talked to us with all their wonderful questions. And it's been a lot of fun. I hope everyone stays safe. I hope all of their families stay safe. And I wish everyone the very best. Look after each other. Look after the things that you care about the most. Drink some water, because that's always very important. And I hope to see you in the next live stream, whenever that will be. So from all of us, good night and good.